Okay, continue. This is absolutely not true. Okay, okay. Uh, for if person marries a woman, um, granting her marriage contract, and performed the rites of kiddushin, he is performing a mitzvah, and God does not decree that he will perform any mitzvahs. Okay, should the marriage be forbidden, entering into it, it is a sin, and God does not decree that we will perform any sins. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says in this paragraph. So one more time, and we're going to explain. This is absolutely not true. I mean, so you have to lie, you have to cheat. For if person marries a woman, granting her marriage contract, and perform the rites of kiddushin. Okay, so kiddushin is a first act. He is performing the mitzvah, and God does not decree that he will perform any mitzvahs. And God does not decree that we will perform any mitzvahs. Should the marriage be forbidden, entering into it, it is a sin. And God does not decree that we will perform any sins. I'm not sure, tell you the truth, I'm not sure what does it mean, but let's continue reading. I'm not going to comment on it because I'm not sure where he's leading. So kiddushin, there are two stages in marriage, kiddushin and nisuim. So kiddushin is the first stage. Well, what is this first stage? It's like in English, it's not exactly, but it's closer to engagement. So what is engagement? That he gives you a ring, or a ring, give you whatever valuable, and they agree to marry, and that's it. So she, in some sense, is a married woman, right? So she cannot, if she wants, if she changes her mind and wants to marry somebody else, she has to get divorced, basically, from him. Even though they live in different houses, they never been together, stuff like that. So but today they do kiddushin and nisuim in one day, like under the chuppah. We do everything in one act because it can become very messy. Okay, with people changing their minds very often. Okay, so continue. Similarly, if one robs money, belongs to someone else, steals it, deceives him, denies possession of the money that was entrusted, and take false oath about it, this is a sin. If one said that God decreed that this person should acquire this money, and that he should take it from the second person, God would be decreeing that the person commit a sin. Okay, maybe we read this, we explain this, maybe we come back to this a little later, previous paragraph. So basically, what Rambam is saying, that Hashem's ways are straight, and he does not decree that like people would lie and cheat. So one more time. Similarly, if one robs the money from belong to somebody else, right, steals it. Okay, robs, steals. Robs, I guess it's in open. Steals in secret, right? Denies possession of the money, meaning especially in olden days. So today we have a bank. So I do even unless I have stashed cash somewhere. So I don't need anybody, right? So if I go to vacation, let's say, or summer, so in olden days, what people do, they didn't have banks, right? So they would entrust these savings or whatever valuables to neighbors, to relatives, to friends, to whatever, right? And sometimes a person would deny that taking charge of this money, and say the person would come back 6 months later and said, "Thank you very much. Can I get my money back?" And the other person said, "What money? Nice to see you, but what money? You need the loan?" No. He said, no. The money that I left you. No, I apologize. Maybe it was too hot in the place where you go. Maybe it's, I don't know, you never gave me any money. So that's, and the person would go to the court, and he would take an oath, right? It's a rabbinic oath. I think it's rabbinic. Is it biblical? I think it's rabbinic. And he would deny ever taking money from that guy. Very interesting, right? So meaning it's another way of stealing. If one said that God decreed that the person should acquire the money, so if a person, he basically, person decided to lie, person decided to steal, And he said, no, but it's probably HaShem wanted me to be rich, and that's how he put in my mind this idea how to get rich quickly. Right? That's what people say. And that he should take it from the second person. God would be decreeing that the person commits a sin. So HaShem never decreed upon anybody to decree a sin. That's freedom of choice. Of course, and same with the mitzvah. HaShem would provide this opportunity of the mitzvah, but just because a person has an opportunity does not mean that he's going to jump on the mitzvah and actually do it. That's different things. Okay, continue. This is not true. Instead, the totality of the person's conduct is given over to him and dependent on his choice. In this sphere, one finds compliance and defiance. As we explained in the second chapter, the commandments and prohibition of the Torah apply only to those actions that person has a choice whether to perform or not. That this element of the soul should be God-fearing is not in the hands of heaven, but rather given over the man's choice, as we have explained. So let's do this paragraph again, and we're going to explain. So, but the main idea, so to be God-fearing or not, it's up to the person. I mean, the person knows the truth. No, he or she learned that HaShem is master of the world. He knows what is going on in my heart. He knows all my hidden thoughts. So, and then person tried to cheat like other people, and say maybe HaShem agreed. That's not serious. So let's do this again and explain. This is not true, meaning HaShem did not decree a person to sin. Instead, the totality of the person's conduct is given over to him and dependent on his choice, right? Everything, whatever you do, good or bad, it's up to us. In this sphere, one finds compliance and defiance. And there are many opportunities. And like, for example, with this shidduch, I have somebody close to me, right? One of the person I learned with, and that person has a daughter, and daughter the same age as this young fellow that I just said, right? Like a few months, she when I saw her resume, I knew that she's approximately this. She's like 5 months younger than him, like ideal couple. But he wants to learn the Torah for the next 3 to 5 years, and parents agreed to sponsor. It's not like he was asking somebody money, and that's what I advise his father to say on a resume, that his father is going to sponsor. We don't need your money, so don't be scared. But this family wanted to find professional. They all like professionals. So because of whatever, and this guy, like when he saw this girl's resume, and he told me, no, I'm not interested. I said, why not? I'm telling you, she's a nice girl. But he said, from this yeshiva, that's the mentality. And guess what? Father confirmed, yes, they're only looking for professionals. So if he's professional to be a rabbi, and get the salary as a rabbi, get the salary as a avrech, so that's not good. So, and I told this person, look, it's a lifetime opportunity. This is a diamond. I know this guy. Come to his classes. You and your daughter, let her stay behind Mechitza. Let her look. Let them meet. It's the only shidduch that I ever offered to your daughter, even though I know you for a long time, and I think it's a good match. And guess what? They say no, nothing. We pass. That's how people can lose the opportunity. Was the opportunity presented? Yes. Was it there? Yes. Was it positive? Yes. And they decided not. Very sorry. As we explained in the second chapter, the commandment and prohibition of the Torah apply only to those actions that the person has choice whether to perform it or not. So HaShem would reward somebody or punish somebody only if person had the freedom of choice. So if person had no freedom of choice, person is not going to get punished. I give one example that just came to my head. For example, there are 3 cardinal sins that a person has to choose death and not to commit. So it's Gilui Arayis, meaning this forbidden intimate relations, right? This what is it? Murder. So if they tell you to murder somebody, well, we're going to murder you. So you get yourself murdered and don't get murdered. And the Torah is about to the idol, right? So whatever idol is it, so they tell you bow to the idol. You say, kill me, and I'm going to bow to the idol. But after the fact, if person succumb under the pressure and he did bow to the idol, yeah, he did murder somebody, right? Or he was involved in this relationship. So after the fact, there is no punishment, right? From the hands of heaven, but here this court, I don't think they can execute the person. Why? Because again, it was not exactly freedom of choice. How is he's going to be judged in heaven? That's a different issue, again. But in some sense, a person did not have a freedom of choice. It was too much pressure. Even though he was supposed to choose one, but he chose the other. Continue. That these elements of the soul element of the soul should be God-fearing, is not in the hands of heaven. So, as we said before, whether a person is going to be God-fearing or not, it's up to him, up to person, right? So there is no direct involvement of tampering with the freedom of choice from heaven. Okay, but it's rather given over to the man's choice, as we have explained.